But where are you on this? The idea. I know you're surprised because you thought he was going in the first round. Another round is almost gone.
I'm gonna tell you why. Let me tell you why I'm shocked by this, and I mean this sincerely. Every year of the draft, and maybe it's not fully the first round, but you get guys start merging out of the blue. Zach Wilson, like, okay, I guess Zach Wilson. Will Levis, he goes all of a sudden early second round. Like, you start to get these names of guys where you feel like it's a stretch. Kenny Pickens, and you're like, oh, okay, I guess where these names come from, right? I mean, I know 32 teams, everybody needs a quarterback. And you start to get names that come out the blue where people start reaching. And every year, like we both have admitted, teams overdraft somebody where you go, oh, this guy's not good. Or teams say this he's a surefire, can't miss, and he ends up being a miss. So this is not a perfect science. But for what we've heard the last year and a half, man, Shedeur Sanders, you never really know. Then into this year, Shedeur Sanders could be a top 5, top 10 pick, surely a top 15 pick. And we heard that for most of the season. You look at his productivity, right? He is the Big 12 Offensive Player of the Year. He's putting up big-time numbers with an offensive line everybody has agreed was terrible because they weren't able to build up their offensive line. He duels with Caleb Williams. He is obviously, we hear Tom Brady rave about, man, he's a leader. He's one of the hardest workers I've been around. This guy's got the goods. And then all of a sudden, the last 3 weeks-ish, it's like, oh, no, he might be arrogant. Oh, no, he might be this. Oh, he might be entitled. Man, his arm strength is like all of a sudden accuracy is that's because guys are wide open. It's like starting to hurt him. Well, that's because he played with Travis Hunter. As if people who go to Alabama, go to Ohio State aren't playing with a bunch of talented guys, way more talent than he has. So that's what made it shocking that he wouldn't go in the first round. I'm not saying he's the greatest prospect since fill in the blank, but that's what made it so shocking to me is that he's now looks like might not even go in the second round. And again, the last point too is. And just seeing everywhere he's gone from, he was good in high school, goes to Jackson State. Okay, that's easy because it's a SWAC. It's HBCU. It's not okay. Goes to Colorado. They won one game before and they went 6th and they went 9. And I'm just like, I'm not saying this dude is Patrick Mahomes, but it is shocking to me that he doesn't go in the first round, doesn't go second round. And people are getting guys like Taylor Shuck. And I was shooketh.
I'm not surprised about the first round. Mm-hmm. Second round, I'm surprised that somebody just didn't use a pick.
Like, why not? He's there. He's available. Hey, we could use a backup.
And I get it, but this it says something. And my only argument against people are thinking that there's some diabolical NFL plan. Deion Sanders is an all-time great. Mm-hmm. There's no reason to do anything to Deion and Shedeur. I just don't buy into that.
Yeah, I don't think it's anything personal or some sinister conspiracy.
I just really, really believe that they don't think he's a quarterback of that talent for that draft.
That early in the draft.
Like not that he can't be drafted, but not there. And we've talked about this over and over about all these other quarterbacks who didn't go in the first round, right?
Russell Wilson was really good in college.
And he went in the third round. Drew Brees is going to the Hall of Fame second round.
Deshaun Watson pre-craziness. Early second round, he was in national title games.
This is what I'm saying.
It definitely happens. I think another great example. I think what's seemingly from the style in which they play, as far as accurate, mobile, but not the most mobile. Another example of that would be Dak Prescott.
Dak Prescott won the fourth round.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Who had a really good season. It was like obvious in our face. Oh, he's really good. But people were like, he's at Mississippi State, so I don't know. And I think that to me is the example of accurate, play very well, put up numbers, mobile, not the most mobile, arm, but not the biggest arm. I think, I could see him end up being Dak Prescott-ish. Maybe he ain't going to get to the $60 million bag. Who knows? God bless him if he does. But where it's like, oh, shoot, we stole him in the fourth. Oh, shoot, this guy can actually play.
All right, so here's the other part. Let's do this.
What you got?
So there were teams that passed up on him. So I'm going to ask you, Giants, Steelers, Saints. Let's use those three, right?
Okay.
Cleveland. Should we throw Cleveland in there? They had a couple of second-round picks.
They're just so screwed up, Rob, with the Deshaun.
All right, so let's just stick
you know what I mean? Like,
three.
they don't – until he's kind of gone, who knows? They're just like, dude, we're going to just be great on the defensive side of the ball and hope that wins us games.
All right, so the question is, who will regret not taking Sanders? Is it one of these three teams? So who do we say? The Giants, Steelers, or the Saints.
Yeah.
So you had them, I think, to the Saints. Didn't you think?
What
Saints?
I was just saying.
No,
that's
but
well. What else are you guys doing? Why not build up something, have some fanfare, a big name? That could do something maybe with the fans, give the fans some hope. I know they're the Saints, but dang it, they need a little angelic hope. As a fan base. So that was that. And then obviously everybody had the 21st saying, keep an eye on that. What will Pittsburgh do? It's for me, the answer for me is going to be, and it's not so much Shedeur, but the collective movement and decisions that have been made for the Steelers. Meaning, I just have no idea what the Steelers are doing. Like, I literally don't know.
What do you mean you don't know what they're doing? I mean, all they're doing is waiting to see what they...
And I get that, but what if he says, I'm retiring? You get what I'm saying? Like, Rob, play this out. Honestly, man, I wait my family. I played a long time. My body is my body's tired. I want to retire.
But you act like the season starts next week.
No,
the season starts in September.
Right, but so now it goes back to your question about Shedeur. I'm saying they don't draft Shedeur, which I'm not saying they had to, or he's, again, the return of John Elway. But you also don't – Mason Rudolph is your quarterback. So I'm just kind of stuck on, like, you're waiting on Aaron Rodgers, who has told you, I don't know what I'm doing yet, which is his prerogative. I'm not even mad at that.
I just think that there could be, you look at other teams, rosters, you would have to make a move. I don't believe that if Aaron Rodgers says that he's retiring, that they still would have to go out and get a quarterback, is what I'm saying. But I just don't think – I'm saying the Steelers didn't think that highly of him.
Which Shedeur?
Shedeur, because that would have been a great safety net. That's what I'm trying to say to you, right? It's like –
But that just makes me go, I didn't further just like, man, I don't know what they're doing, and that Mason Rudolph is currently their starting quarterback. By the way, I don't know Mike Green. He's from Marshall. He's an edge rusher. But to see the joy in this young man's face, like I said, I know we've been talking about Shedeur and obviously Travis Hunter and even Cam Ward to an extent, but I just want to send some love to these young players who are getting, man, the dream of their life. For you, as a sports writer, dude, you got to write in the city, eventually in the city in which you're from, New York City. That's
no doubt.
Dude, that's awesome. For me, man, to finally get on air and be on radio, have my own show, to finally be anchoring a morning news show in the second biggest market in L.A. Sometimes I'm like, man, these guys are living their dream. So I did want to shout out these players who are getting drafted, even though, we don't know a lot of their names, dude. That's an amazing feeling. The tears that this young man, Mike Green, just shed, family there, embracing this moment, it is awesome. So I also want to make sure we acknowledge that. But
I guess I think when I think about this, I'm going to think about the Giants.
Yeah.
Because they've had so many stinkers.
Yeah, you ain't lying.
Because they had Dave Brown. I don't know if you remember him being a little young. Dave Brown.
I remember Dave Brown. Yeah.
Not, and then, Daniel Jones.
Kurt Warner didn't work for them.
Right. He had a bad thumb that year.
Yeah,
he
did. He had a bounce back with, of course, the Cardinals. But I'm just saying.
It was this close to winning the Super Bowl.
Yep.
So Antonio Holmes makes that great catch.
Dude, that was a great Super Bowl. That was a nice little stretch.
That was. I don't know. Like the Giants, like I said, I didn't believe the Giants would take him, but it would have been so different for the Giants. Something different, a guy of that ilk with a little flair and
in New York
panache.
City, the Big Apple.
Right. Do you know what I'm saying?
I totally get it.
Like it would have made the Giants like not so much old guard and old fogies Giants
or obvious picks. I totally get what you mean. But I do go back to the Saints. A Southern boy, obviously Texas, but Southern boy, some swagger to him in New Orleans. Derek Carr ain't it. He's just not it. He's obviously injured as well. So that could have made some sense there as well. Because what exactly are the Saints doing? Moving forward. And you don't know what they are, you don't know what they're doing. So I could see the Saints too, but
Denver just drafted RJ Harvey, a running back.
Yeah. Yeah,
so
next is Washington, and obviously they love Jane Daniels. He ain't going nowhere, so that's
it looks
not
like
happening.
It's going to be third.
Caleb Williams. Look, if you look at the next 4 picks, Rob, Washington, Chicago, Chiefs, Eagles. Jaden Daniels, rookie of the year, amazing. Chicago, Caleb Williams, the number 1 pick from a year ago. They all in. They got a new offensive coordinator in Ben Johnson. They ain't going nowhere. Like, that's the guy. Chiefs, Patrick Mahomes has been the guy for the last 7-8 years. And then the Eagles, they ain't hurting with Jalen Hurts. So it looks like it'd be round 3. What you just said, first pick of round 3 is the Giants. Maybe they
Kansas
mess around
City, and Cleveland. Those are the 3 picks to start.
Maybe Cleveland,
the 3rd round.
Maybe Cleveland turns around and say, you know what? And then the Raiders. So,
that's right.
And then even the Patriots. I know Drake may, but I mean, and then the Saints. So look at this. Round 3, the first, what is that? 6, 7 picks. It has to be there. You got the Giants.
Don't say it has to be because you thought it was going to be in the 2nd round.
Well, I'm saying that would make sense. If you're the Giants, you double back and triple back now and say, oh, shoot, we can get them. Cleveland again. Then you go to Vegas.
Cleveland will have its 9th pick and still not pick them.
Let's say you skip New England and let's say you skip the Jags. Then it's New Orleans again. Right? Come on.